We're in a twilight zone here. I don't know. Interesting. So let's turn it off.
That toaster should have popped off long.
Yeah, it's really slow. All right, let's go back and come back into the screen. See if we can get it to convert. Of course, this works. See, now it goes to 9. So it goes to 8. Finally.
It's still showing you're toasted.
Yeah.
Yeah, after that goes off, it should. If that one ever does go away.
Yeah, it's not going away. So let's set it to 8:01.
Oh, that might be the problem. It's the wrong day.
Is it?
Yeah.
What is my date? Oh,
6.
it might. What's the date of my device?
It is a 6.
It is the 6th, 8:01. All right. So now I've got my notes in here that should pop up. We'll turn it on. Alarm! Yay! Oh, that's alarm off. It's that slow. That's the last one. So it should say eventually here alarm on, and then when it hits 8:01, it will say wake up, because that's what we had set in our receiver. So it should say,
So is that in the system now?
yeah, it's in the system. Yeah.
So because that should still work.
Yes.
I'm still on top of it.
Okay, I'm gonna pause my recording while we wait for the sucker to come.
Yeah, go over what you did there.
There, you should redo it.
On which part? This part here?
Yeah.
Show me what you did to add the time.
Oh, this. Oh, I see what you're saying. I want to still see this come up though, so I'm gonna move it off to the side. So yeah, tell me when this says wake up, take your insulin. That's what it'll change to. So the only thing I had to change from yesterday was calling this get time in millis, and this C date object, this calendar object, was set based on those date and time pickers. So that's really simple. You've already done those for the your blood sugar logs that you're doing, so that should be relatively straightforward. So the next thing, we need to do a little cleanup that we didn't do yesterday. We need to add a destroy method, so that because this alarm that we have set is taking up system resources. This is that alarm manager is getting a system service, and we need to destroy that when we quit our application. So when this particular activity gets destroyed, we have to destroy the AM alarm manager. So we're going to do an override on destroy method. Did it work? Yeah, hey, look at that. Wake up, take your insulin. See, I told you it would work. Finally, holy cow. It said wake up.
That's because the alarm on is still.
No, it said wake up before.
I saw it.
Don't be messing with me, man. See, it's working fine. It's perfect. So we need to destroy this. So we're going to call this AM cancel. And we're going to unregister our receiver, which we created for getting the notifications. And then we're going to call the super dot on destroy, which calls what method? The on destroy method of the parent, right? The parent class. I don't know.
Does that,
It's just so slow. It's because I turned this off and on a few times, so I think it's just catching up.
so does that delete the actual alarm set in the system at that time? So if you close the app,
No, it's already registered. It's already registered in the system. So, all right. So now we have the alarm. The other thing that you guys did in your web research was look at different ways of getting alarms, notifications, etc. And so, what did you find are other ways in Android to get notified of something? You haven't done it yet. Supposed to do it. Nobody has done that yet.
Yeah, it was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, we're done with the web research.
There you go, Andy.
The alarms.
About the alarms and notifications and what you thought was the best way to get,
Pretty much the
Well,
way to go.
yeah, services, yeah.
yeah, the one that actually will notify them outside of the program running, if it was for their health, would be the one you want to utilize.
Right, because,
Ideally, you want to have like a web host service send that notification to their phone so that the phone doesn't have to be on and checking and running the program. Or
right.
constantly checking for, if it's off and they need this service.
So that's a good, that would be a good website, web app for you guys to create. And you could sell alarm services to your members. And then you could make it work on any computer or any alarm, yeah. So the other way is through the idea of a notification. And notifications come from when you pull down from the top of the Android, you get all of these notifications. So say you got a couple of emails and you got an updated app request and Google Play says there's a new app. Those all come in here. Most of you guys have Androids, right? Unfortunately. So it would be nice to show up here as well. And so there's another way to do that. And we're going to do that by creating a notification. It's called a notification. I don't think so. So I'm going to create my own method that I'm going to call from the alarm system that we just created. You could put anything you want in the base class. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to do it right here. So we still need to have the same kind of a concept because it's possible that your application's not running when this notification gets triggered. And so, and what happens when you're over here and you're looking at one of these notifications? What happens if you click on one, typically? It opens what? The app, right? So we need to have an intent. Remember the intents? So that we can switch to that particular application, just like we switched between views, right? So we need an intent for that. So we need to have an intent. So when they click on that notification, we want it to go to our application, right? So we have to create an intent. We'll call it intent. We're not very... And it's a new intent using this object, this view as its base, and the medicine alarm, dot class. It needs the class. So that's the intent that we're going to create. And then we need a pending intent when we deal with these alarms. So I'm going to call it p-intent. I know. I get tired of trying to figure out pending intent called get activity, which takes these variables here and passes in the intent that we just created. And those are flags that we don't need to deal with at this point. So we're passing the intent that we created into this pending intent, and the pending intent we're going to use inside of our notification that we create. So our notification, we have to create, there's this class called a notification. Of course, it's not here, so we have to import that package. And we're going to create a new notification builder. And this is a different way that I've seen in the different tutorials. They start this on a different line. So we can, for instance, set the content title of the notification. And what we're doing is we're building up this little thing here, this little slider clickable button. You can slide them off to the right and it goes away, right? So we're choosing this. This is the title, and we can add longer notes and all kinds of stuff to this. So we're basically building up that little view. So I'm going to call it alarm, medicine alarm. And the way they type it is, it's just a nicer way to format this. This is really a dot on this notification, right? But because it has a character return right before the dot, Java says, okay, I'll let you do that. So it's just a nicer way of lining all these up. So we can set the content text. That's the bigger chunk of text under the title. And I figured it would be nice to set the notes. That's why I'm passing in the notes that were for this particular alarm, so they can see, take your insulin, take your whatever, take whatever medicine they put when they created the alarm in the first place. And then we can set a little icon. And we get that from our resources, just like we did. And I'm going to call it this launcher alarm, since I don't have a nice medicine alarm icon. Then we have to set the content intent that we just created. And these are all just reusing this notification builder. So I'm calling this dot this dot this dot this. It's still, each one of these returns the same object of this builder. So that's why we can daisy chain them all together. I can set auto cancel. There's all kinds of options that we can set on these little guys. And I had trouble with this one. We'll see if this will work here. We can also have little buttons on the notification, and we're just going to create some fake ones for now, so that when you get notified, when they click on it and it goes to your application, you could read what they clicked on and do something different based on that. So you could say cancel the alarm, or call my doctor because I'm dying. Whatever you want to put in there. I'm just going to have 3 little buttons here, or let's just do 2. And finally, we call the build method on that sucker, and that creates this notification. All right, that's all that did, was create this little object with all of these properties associated with it. Then, like the alarm, we have to get that ability to send a notification from the system. So there's a notification manager object that we have to create that goes out, and we have to typecast it, and does a get system service like we did for the alarm. So we want to get the notification service from the system, and then we have to call, using that object, we have to call this notify event with the builder object that we created up here, this N. So this actually sends the notification to this Android operating system, and it takes care of putting it in the right view, building it up with all of this, setting the actions and everything necessary for that. I could put this on another line. All right? Everybody caught up with me? Let me pause. So the next thing I need to do, there you go, thank you, Andy. That makes me feel better. I need to actually call this method. This is just my own method where I conglomerated all of this that I need to create the notification. And I need to call that, and I decided to call it at the point where the alarm goes off. Okay, when the alarm is triggered, I'm going to send a notification to Android, and it'll pop up the little view there. So I'm going to call my create notification, and I'm going to pass the notes that I got from this alarm from the edit notes that we got, right? So that gets passed into my string here, and that gets put into my title in the content. And so I should see take your insulin inside of that notification. No? What?
Aren't you doing that just when you're checking if the toggle's turned on or off?
No, I'm doing, this is, wait. Yeah, you're right. I have it in the wrong place. Good call. See, I did that on purpose to see if you guys were paying attention. We want to do it on the receiver. Where's my receiver? Here it is. Okay. So I'm going to call it here, and I'm going to call notes. All right. Does that make sense? So when the alarm goes off, this receiver gets called. This is what calls my wake up and sends the notes along that we saw finally over here. And at that point, I want to insert that notification bar in the operating system. And that's what that will do. So let's rerun it. Wow, that's slow. Okay, go to my alarm. Change the alarm time to be 1 minute in the future, which is virtually 5 minutes in the future or whatever. I'll type, take your insulin, turn it on. That came up pretty fast.
Is there a timestamp on the notification so that you would know which one of the insulins you missed? Or should it be
It would be a nice thing to add, yeah. If you have this, you could put, let's see. Yeah, I think it would make sense to put, let's wait for this guy to come up. I don't want to miss it. When you create this, you can add any text you want in here. And you could put the timestamp of when the alarm was supposed to go off, something like that. That might make sense. You can add anything you want there. Any other questions while we're waiting for our alarm to go off? That's the final. When? By the. We'll get to that. Yeah, Google account. Yeah. Same thing.
Now it is.
Google owns the world, so get used to it.
But it really pissed a lot of people off that they changed something to
I really don't see what the problem is with the comment section.
the fact that you can make external links that lead to viruses.
I'm going to pause. I never click a link that doesn't go right. Hey, we got it. Wake up. And notice at the top, it created this little icon. See this little icon? Because that's the icon that I used when I set my builder here. So it's got a little icon. You would use your blood drop or whatever you want there. So now when I pull this down, look at that. Got my nice little medicine alarm, and I've got 2 buttons that I could click to go back to the links, and they would do something else. I didn't implement that. If I click on this, it will go to my medicine alarm with the right view. This goes back to because that's the intent that I told it to go to. I could have it just go to my main health application or something else. And then because I had the auto cancel set, as soon as I clicked it, notice it's gone now, right? But if I didn't do that, I can always slide these away. Holy moly. Maybe not these. Well, it would work on mine, I'm sure.
Try the other direction.
No. Anyway, on the one, I don't want to wait for another one to come around, but I could have slid it across and that would have canceled it as well. Isn't that cool? Isn't that exciting? Yay! Think of all the things you can do now with your alarm system. All right, any other questions? All right. So